Okay, good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Altis coaching chat. Today, we have the privilege of being joined by coach Damien Inocencio. Damien is a really, really interesting coach. I first met him, about 10 years ago, and he was gracious enough to allow me to come and visit him in Clermont-Ferrand. And he did an amazing job of mentoring me and has been a friend and mentor ever since, and massively educated me on a number of things which I'd like to chat through today. So Damien, welcome to Coaching Chat and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Great. So let's start off, Damien. Could you just tell us a little bit about your background as an athlete and coach and how you came to the position you're in today, working as head coach for the Chinese national pole vault team?
Oh, it's a very long journey. I started pole vault, I was 9 years old in Clermont-Ferrand. I really come from the city. It's a very big school of pole vault. And I did my career. I jumped 5'42". And when I was 21, I started to have some injury and had some kids on the club who had no coach because we had a lot of kids. I took them. They was around 10 years old. And I continued to train them at the same time I was training me. And they arrived in junior. They succeed to go in French national team. And at this moment, I started to be a little famous. And I have, in 2008, Renaud Lavillenie, who was at 5'70", who came to train with me. And 6 months after, he was at 5'80". And 1 year after, he was at 6 meters. And it's like that I become professional coach. In 2011, I stopped to have another job and I was a full-time coach. And 2012, Renaud won Olympic Games. And we stopped to our collaboration at the end of 2012. And I started to open my mind to other countries. I gone in Sweden with Angelica Bexon. And since 2014, I'm working with Chinese national team. I'm head coach for them. And I have a part of development and on the same time, a part to try to make medals.
Awesome. So incredible journey, like a huge amount of diversity there, Damien. I want to talk first about kind of that incredible progression you had with Renaud. So you said that he went from 5'75" to 6 meters in a really, really quick time, relatively, considering how elite he was. So what strategies did you use to enable you to make those progressions so quickly?
First, I look what was his weakness and I hear him a lot. When we were training, every time I try to understand what locked him. Example, before he was very keen on takeoff and he always say, I don't feel the feeling to can run, accelerate at the end. There is this, and working a lot about this harmony between the jumper and the pole, or to get to recover all the energy he can give on the pole. And one very important idea was, because Renaud is a short guy, not very, very fast, not very strong. Everybody said us, okay, maybe he can jump one day 5'80", but he will never be very, very big pole vaulter. The day he jumped 5'80", I took this strategy on my mind to think there is no limit, because he already pushed the limit. It's why we try everything, and everything was working, we keep it.
Amazing. And then in terms of competition progressions, obviously you had a lot of success in competitions, but I particularly want to talk about obviously Olympic Games and the day of the Olympic final. You know, how did you feel as a coach going into that Olympic final with Renaud, and kind of how did you strategize to get the best out of him on that day?
I took it like a normal competition. I'm a little bit like that, but the win of Olympic Games in London began when he lose in Daegu 1 year before. In 2011, he was leading, and we took a decision to switch pole in what was the right moment, but Pavel succeeded to jump 590 just in front of him, and I saw that Renaud lose his confidence at this moment, and he destroyed all his technique. And during 1 year, without really speaking to him about it, because he need to keep his confidence, I always put him on different, position that to put him on stress, to try to make him react without really speaking to him about this process. And it's I learned how to make him react on the wrong position. And what happened in London, he was leading at before 590, and at 592, there is a 2 German guy who succeed to make it on the first attempt, and Renaud lose again like he did in Daegu. He loses his confidence, and he makes the same mistake on during the jump. But because I saw what happened 1 year before, I had the key to make him react and to put him on position that he can jump high again. It was the key, the success of London was 1 year before. But when I arrived in London, for me, it was like a normal competition. I was close to the German coach. And it's when I go to competition, it's not fighting against the other one. It's like to have a big party all together.
That's awesome. Awesome. And you talk about there kind of the fun aspect, the party aspect of pole vault. And I've noticed you really, really are good at that. So I'm going to, skip around a little bit on the question order I had, but, you really seem to encourage kind of play and games when you coach pole vault and try and get people to relax by using that. So what led you to use that strategy, and kind of how do you use it with your elite athletes at the moment?
For me, it's easy. I'm still 12-year-old on my mind. It's why I always play. Now, the strategy, we always, how to explain, when we train with kids, they only want to play. But when one day the athletes open the eyes and say, okay, they want to become the best one in the world, and they take it like a job. And many people, when they take it like a job, they forget that the energy of sports, it's come from playing, and they forgot what gives them this energy when they were a kid. It's why we need to always remember why we are here. We are here, of course, to become the best of the world. But at the same time, if we put out all the happiness, you can't succeed. It's why I always try to put all the pressure, play, but at the same time, to be very strict on very short points that I want athletes to succeed, but always come back on happiness, because you need that. And one athlete, when he arrives on the track, he arrives with the happiness, never arrive with something hard and heavy on his earth.
No, and that makes total sense. And kind of that leads me on to the point, you've coached, and I don't know if you still do it, but certainly when I visited you in Clermont-Ferrand, you were coaching a group of, I don't know how many kids, must have been 50 or 60 young athletes all together, like at the same time as you were coaching, in the same day as coaching elite athletes. So, tell us about why you coach children. What do you learn from doing that? And do you think other coaches should try and do that a little bit more as well?
No, I have no more the time to coach the kids, but I'm always close the coach with kids, and I always play and try to give energy for the kids. I think it's the same sports. When they are kid or elites, it's the same. It's just we change the mechanics. We need to be more strict with elite athletes. But on the same time, as a coach, I need to share with other people. I need to give a legacy, and I have this. It's why I always love to be with kids. I'm with them, I play, I enjoy this moment. And after, it gives to myself energy to be focused on the elite.
Awesome. So you gain kind of energy, and it refreshes you as a coach. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Always.
Amazing. And, part of that's quite interesting. I noticed you communicated really, really well with the kids, and they were really engaged. And likewise, the athletes that you work with seem to engage with you. And I've seen you coach athletes from loads of different countries and loads of different languages. And you somehow managed to make that work, which I found incredible to watch. Obviously, now working with the Chinese national team, you must have challenges both in terms of culture differences and language differences. So can you tell us a little bit about how you've overcome those challenges to be so successful working in those environments?
As you see, I have very good English. Now, what I did when I started, example, with the Chinese, they give me someone to translate. Mm-hmm. And I say to this man, I say him, okay, what we will do, you go to sit, and if I need you, I will call you. because I want to have a direct contact and exchange with the athletes. At the beginning, the Chinese have no English, and my English was worse than no. I'll let you imagine how bad it was. But we need to share, because the first things, the confidence need to be, we need to speak with someone to give the confidence. Or you can have confidence to me if I'm speaking to another one who speaks to you. It's not possible. And the second one, I was thinking that if Chinese athletes want to open to the world, they have obligation to speak English, because they will need to travel and they will need to compete against foreigners, and they will have to exchange with foreigners, to catch the culture of the other one. And the last one, it's body language. We can speak a lot. We can I can show the things with my hand. I can I'm Latin. It's easier, and I use a lot video, because I can explain them. I can stop. And slowly we found a language that we can have together.
Okay, amazing. And just in terms of like the cultural challenges as well, I know you've spent a lot of time in China. It's probably a very different environment to what you were used to in Europe. Can you tell us a little bit about any of the challenges working with a different federation and how you have overcome those? The hardest part for me in China, it's there is a very big administration who control everything. And for me, I'm someone who work on the track. I'm not someone who like administration. It's why it was hard to find all they do. And it was hard for this, but at the same time, when I was living in China, my roommate was Randy Huntington. He was a Mike Powell coach in long jump, and he's American. We can spend a lot of time speaking. We can share a lot of experience, and was very, very interesting. I learned a lot about it. It was hard for me because he's American, he speaks fast, and I was just a French guy. It was hard, but it's opened my mind. And I have, every time I go to another country like China, I need to change my mind. It's a mistake if I arrive, I say, okay, I'm French. I have the French method. It's work with French people. We'll have to work with Chinese one. No, my way to coach, my way to think, I have to understand the culture of the athletes, why they take some decision, why they not react like us, and try to find the good keys to make them learn and improve. Okay, that's really, really interesting advice there. Thank you. And just a final question then, Damien. So any young coach aspiring to achieve the level of coaching that you have and perhaps be employed around the world, what advice would you give them based upon your experiences to kind of maximize their potential as a coach and their development?
It's a big question. First, need always to adapt and understand what needs the athlete. And never stop to learn. You always need to try to learn different language, different culture, different open book, and read. You never have to think that you are right and the other one are wrong. You always, if I have another coach who take another decision, I never judge and say he's wrong. I want to understand why he took this decision and if it's working or not, because I can learn from everybody. And young athletes need to keep the happiness of training and always learn by everybody. There is nobody who's wrong. Everybody's right, but on the right moment or the wrong moment. And we need to understand why they take the decisions.
Brilliant advice, Damien. Well, it's been wonderful chatting to you. Thank you for joining us. And your English is very, very good. So no worries there. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you very much. And I wait to see you again on the track.
Perfect. Thanks, Damien.